flip, flip back, flip, flip back, flip, flip back. So there we go. Welcome back to Arcade. I am Super Tommy, and in this video, we're going to look at card flips, specifically 3 different card flips. We're going to do a very basic one that just tweens the scale X. Then we're going to do another one that adds some perspective, but it does a similar flip in place. And then we're going to do another one that's more like a door open type thing where the card flips on an actual, on like the edge of itself. So first, let's do the most basic card flip. So we have a project here. This is a project set up using the Phaser 3 parcel template. You can find it at github.com/arcade. So we have here in this scene, we're loading this card back, and then these 3 different ace cards, the spades, hearts, and clubs. We're going to use each 3 of them for the 3 examples we're going to do. So first one, just the most basic here, we're going to flip the card on its scale X. So we're going to do a timeline here. Let's make a timeline. This dot tweens dot timeline. So a timeline basically lets you play multiple tweens in order in that timeline, so that they play one after the other. So timeline.add. And let's see. So the config here is the same as a tween. So let's just look at this again. This flip method we're implementing the most basic flip. It's going to be called when we click on the scene. So if I just comment this out and do a console.log card, so the game is running here. So if I tap here, it's the sprite that we've made. So we're calling this flip method to do a card flip. So the first thing we're going to do, we are actually going to scale the entire card up 1.1 so it looks like it's coming towards you in the screen. Let's do that over 300 milliseconds. No delay. Let's see how that looks like. So when you make a timeline, you have to do timeline. You got to tell it to play. And actually, just for cleanup here, on complete, this is the timeline config that we're using. We're going to do timeline.destroy after the timeline is finished. Just to make sure everything is working. This should scale up, so good, that works. Now after it's scaled up, we want to now tween the scale X so that it sort of looks like it's flipping. Timeline.add. Same target, the card that we're passing in. So scale X, it's currently at 1. Let's make it 0. We'll do a duration of another 300 milliseconds. Let's add a little delay. Let's say 200. Okay. So it's going to scale. We'll just show you. It's going to scale X so that it disappears basically. Okay, so it's basically scale like 0, so you don't see anything. So now we want to change the card texture. So you see we're using the back of the card. That's the arcade logo back of the card. We have an on complete here. And in the on complete, we're going to do card.setTexture. Let's see. Let's pick one of these. Let's do clubs. Card clubs A. And here, set texture. Do that. And then, so now we're nothing. We're invisible, basically. We changed our texture. And timeline.add. Now we're going to tween scale X back out to 1. Scale X 1. Duration 300. Let's say that's good. So actually, let's do it to 1.1 since we've scaled both X and Y to 1.1. Then we can scale it back down. Looks like it's falling back on the table. Targets, card, scale 1, duration 300. Okay. Let's see how this looks. And okay, so it looked not bad. This is the most basic card flip. So let's just make this so that it'll flip it back. So if card.texture.key if it's card back, so that's this texture here, card back. If it is card back, we are going to flip it and change it to the ace of clubs. Else, we are going to, so that means it's a face, it's not the back. We're going to set texture card back. So now as we flip it, it's going to flip back and forth. So flip and then flip back. So that's not bad, and that is the most basic card flip, but it doesn't look quite as nice as you'd want if you see it. It's very basic flip, it's not bad. But now Phaser does have some other game object types that will let us do a better flip with some perspective. So let's go here, flip quad. We're going to call this a quad. So we're going to make a quad. And let's just here add some JS doc for IntelliSense. We're going to use a quad, which is very similar to an image. It's a more primitive, I would say. Let's see. Because then you can adjust the vertices, and that's how we're going to get this perspective effect. So let's just move that guy to over there, card back. And then this dot flip, we're going to flip everyone at the same time when we click. So there's this, to just make sure this is working. Okay. So, okay, 2 cards. This is going to be the quad. And the left one is the one we already did. This is going to be the new one we're going to do. Let's just test it. Great. Get that log. You see that's still animated. We're going to use a timeline again. So we are going to just copy some of this. It's going to be basically the same. Right? We're going to do some other stuff and then timeline.play. Just don't forget you've got to play the timeline. And actually, we can also take the scale down. Okay, so let's scale up, and then we're going to do this perspective flip. So by perspective, what happens when you flip something is, like in here, for example, the whole thing stays the same size. But in reality, when you flip something, the part that's closer to you gets bigger. So we're going to mimic that. So timeline.add targets card. Now this card is a quad, and a quad has a top left X, top left Y. So top left X, top left Y, top right X, top right Y, bottom left, bottom right. And then so you can adjust those and it'll give you a different type of skew. Okay, so we're gonna bring it up. Now we want to move, let's see. So we're gonna wanna move everything to the middle, right? So this top left wants to move to the middle, and this top right wants to move to the middle, same for the bottom left, bottom right. So let's do width. It's going to be this dot card. No, sorry, card dot width. And let's see. So middle X is going to be card dot top left. So top left X plus width times half. So this middle X is right here, right? This X value. And so we want top left X to go to middle X. Then we want top, let's see, top left Y will do nothing. Top right X, also middle X. Bottom left X, we want to go to middle X. Bottom right X, also middle X. Okay, and then, so that will bring it so that it's invisible. Basically, it's bringing everything into the middle. And then we want to bring everything back out. And so what we're going to do is, so we want top left X. We want top left, let's just do top left X, top right. Top right X, bottom left X, bottom right X. And we're going to want that from cards. This is object destructuring. Basically, it's like doing card.width sets width. Instead, we're doing const. So it would be like this. Const top left X gets card.top left X. right, for each one of these. Instead, we can do it in one line by using this object destructuring syntax. Okay, so here we are. Basically, we are going to go back to what these values were, right? And this is just a shortcut as well. We could do, this colon top left X, and we're typing the same thing twice, but in this shorthand, it'll just use the name of the variable as the key, the property name when we throw it into this object. Okay, so now this should do exactly what we did here without perspective yet, to just see if this works. No, of course. All right, yes. Duration, let's go that, and we want the on complete, which will be the same. Now I added a delay there. Let's add a delay here too. And then the on complete, which does the texture swap. All right, let's see. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is the return. This is the initial flip. All right, let's see. Okay, so it looks the same, right? You can't really tell the difference. It's basically the same. All right, so now we can make it a little bit better. So what we're going to want to do, so now I want to adjust the Y, so the right. So top right Y is going to move this way, but it should be bigger. So top right X, oops, so top right Y, and here let's just top right Y, and we're going to want bottom right Y, which is here. So we want this side to expand up and down, or at least look like it's expanding up and down. So top right Y is going to be top right Y, and let's just make another variable here called extra, and we'll just say 20. This is just how much more we're gonna make it bigger. And so minus extra, got a comma here, and then so top right Y, and then bottom right Y. Now bottom right Y is the bottom, so we're going to add instead of subtract. Okay, oops. Let's see. All right, get rid of this help. All right, subtract extra from the top right Y, add extra to the bottom right Y. That'll do that. And then when it goes back, we want to make sure that the top left Y and bottom left Y now get the value of whatever was top right Y and bottom right Y. So it looks like we're flipping, but we're not really going to flip it around. What we're going to do is make it look like it's flipping halfway, and then effectively flip back this way, right? We're doing this, and it's going to look like it's doing this, but really we're going to do this, and then do this. But we're going to change the values in a way that makes it look like we're flipping all the way around. So to do that, we're going to change the Y value of the left side once we've made it to the middle. So card.top right Y, and this could get slightly confusing here. We're going to want to make that, let's see, just normal top right Y. And then card.bottom right Y will get its normal bottom right Y. Now, card.top left Y will get top, well, it just has to get the Y value subtracted by extra, and then card bottom left Y, let's just say bottom right Y plus extra. And then here, everyone is going to go back to what it was. So so actually, right, we want everyone to revert back to its original. So top right, so X, Y, top left Y, bottom left y. So let's just get the initial values for all four vertices, and we are going to basically do that, or reset between everything back to the original values. So left x, top left y. This is definitely where it gets a little confusing to remember all these x, y's and at all these different vertices. Bottom left y and bottom right y. Right, hopefully I did this right. All right, let's see it. And there it is. So now you see it, that looked like it was wrong. So for whatever reason, it works sometimes. I think if I do it enough time, you'll see that most of the time it works. Unless my math is slightly wrong. Could be that my math is wrong. Let's just make sure I'm doing this right. Top right y, bottom right y. So we want them return to their original. And then top left y should take the previous, the bottom right and top right values. But you see that was okay. That wasn't. And that was okay. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure why that's doing that, but we can fix it by, instead of setting these values in the on complete of the previous tween in this timeline, we can set it in the on start of the tween that's actually going to execute it. And there we go. So you see it's doing the flip, and it looks, right, you can see this perspective. It's different than this one, right? There's like perspective there in the skew. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so next we're gonna do a second quad flip. And this one, I call it the door flip, but basically you flip a card on its edge. So like flip, like that. Okay, so let's make a new method here. Flip quad 2. And we're gonna take a card, which is the same quad here. And we're gonna use the same, we need all of this. Don't need that, let's just take some of this for making our timeline. And we're not going to scale it up since this flip looks like it's like on the table. But timeline play, always going to play the timeline. And let's make another quad here. Const quad 2. This dot add dot quad. So with times, I'm going to do this, and let's move everyone up a little bit to make room. And then height times 0.75 card back. And this dot flip quad 2. Quad 2. Okay, got 3 cards. And that's that. Okay. So if I just do this, right, everyone is still working. Okay. So now we're going to do this second quad flip. So in this case, we are going to move the right side to the left side, and then move the rest of it over to the minus width from where the left was. So just in the same case we had before, we're not really flipping the whole thing over, we're just faking it. So the right side is going to come up a little bit and over, so it's going to expand as it goes from right to left, and then we're going to give the left values those new right values, right? So the left is going to now be bigger instead of the right, just like we did here, and then we're going to tween those numbers to the minus width of where the left values were. Right now, this sounds very confusing, or it's hard to explain, but let's just do it. Timeline dot add targets card. So we want the right side to go to the left side. So top right x is going to be top left x. Bottom right x is going to be bottom left x. I get confused. And so that'll do that. Now we want the y value, just like we had before, top right y will get top right y minus extra, so that's taller, not extern, extra. Bottom right y will get bottom right y plus extra. Oh, I didn't add extra here. Let's just take same extra. So let's just do it and see what happens. Boom. Okay, so that's basically right. So duration 300. So you see, it's sort of like a door, right? Okay, now dot add. Now we want to move it so that it flips the rest of the way over. So we're going to do just like we did before. On this complete here, we are going to set top right y to the starting top right y, right? The original top y value. So we're going to shrink it. We expanded it to make it look like it's coming towards us. Now we're going to bring it back to normal. Card dot bottom right y, bottom right y. Now, instead, we're going to give those values to the left side. Card dot top left y is top right y minus extra, right? Just like we had here. And then card dot bottom left y is bottom right y plus extra. So it's the same as this. Okay, so now we have that. So now we're going to want to move the left side to whatever the left value was, left x minus width. So we do want width. Let's just, so just from our object destructuring here, we can just do width like that, and we destructure the width out of the card object into this width parameter. So top left x is going to be top left x minus width, right? So let's refresh this. It's going to be over here. So we're going to want this top left x minus width. We want to flip it over here. And then bottom left x is bottom left x minus width. Same thing. So that the bottom left goes here minus width. So now it's the y value, and now we made it bigger here on the onComplete. So we want top left y go back to what it was, and we want bottom left y to go back to what it was. Let's give it a duration. Okay. Let's just see what this does. Okay. So this should continue going. Yeah. So now we need to actually flip it. So card.setTexture. So we are going to use, let's do the spades. So, and I guess I didn't change the card for the other one. Let's just do that, just for hearts, just so that looks different. Okay, spades. We're going to change it to the face card, or the face side of the card instead of the back side of the card. Continue. So just see it. Just save. Okay, flip. Right, flip. Okay. So that's the flip. Now I wanted to flip back, really. That's how we're going to do it. You could maybe adjust this to do a different way. We're going to do flip it and then flip it back. And so we're going to do it this way. So if card.texture.key, so if it is card back, we're going to do this. We're going to add these set of tweens. Oops. We're going to add these set of tweens that we just did to the timeline. And else, that means it's already a face, or the face side. I don't know what to call it. The face side, we're gonna do this, right? Then we're gonna flip back. We're gonna reverse this. And so here we go. So to reverse it, timeline dot add card. So let's think here. So to reverse it, so we're gonna use the top left, move it to top right. Bottom left, move it to bottom right. So top left x, come on, top left x is going to be top right X. And then bottom left X is going to be bottom right X. Right, X goes there, X goes there. Now we want the Y value to expand like we did before. Top left Y equals top left Y. Now minus extra, right? Yes, minus extra for up. And then bottom left Y is bottom left Y plus extra for down. So it goes, good. Let's add a duration, same thing. And then on complete. So we're gonna do card.setTexture. We're gonna set this back to the card back, right? Now that we're basically on the side, on the card side. And then we're gonna do card.top left Y. We're gonna reset this back, top left Y, and then card.bottom left Y, same thing, bottom left Y. Because we're not actually flipping it over, we're just faking it. So once we get to the middle, we're going to give the left values to the right side and reset the left values, or actually just take the right values from take the right values, give it to the left side, take the left values, give it to the right side. So card.top right Y is now going to be top left Y minus extra, like we did here. And then card.bottom right Y is going to be bottom left Y plus extra. So yes, you could say here card.top left Y equals equals top right Y. Yes, like we're doing a swap. You could definitely do that, and that would be fine since it's really the same values. So if it makes more sense to you that way, you can do it. Top left Y, card top left Y gets top right Y, like we're swapping left with right. And then bottom left equals bottom right. We're swapping the Y values from the top left to the bottom left. And then right here, we're taking the previous left values, giving it to the right side. Okay, now we are going to finish this animation by tweaking everything to right plus width. Previously it was left minus width, now it's right plus width. So okay, let's see. We'll do that. We're gonna want to do, so it goes, and then top right X is going to be top right X plus width. And then bottom right X is going to be bottom right X plus width. Okay, and then we're gonna want to go to top right Y as normal, and then bottom right Y. And let's see. Yep, that looks right? Okay. Duration 300. What's missing here? Comma. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, flip back, flip back, flip back. So there we go. These are the card flips. Now we did 3 different ones. The most basic one in the top left, this is just scale X, changing scale X. Then we used a quad and just re-implemented this basic scale X and added some perspective or skewing, so it looks like it's 3-dimensional of a flip. This flip is usually pretty good if that's all you added to a card game. It would already look much better than the more basic flip. And then if you want to do something else like this, where you're playing, maybe it's a poker game or a blackjack game, and you want to like have a more dramatic flip, I guess it's like a door flip. You can use this one. This one is pretty cool too. You see, you got the perspective and the skew that we did here, but adjusted so that it flips on its edge, slightly more realistic. So feel free to take these examples and make it your own. If you want your cards to, like in this case, maybe skid a little bit to the right on when it does the flip. You just got to adjust the numbers. It may be a little hard to think about. I definitely get confused looking at this myself, but you just got to remember you got to change the X, Y for each vertex and just think it through where those values should end up from where they're starting. And if you name your variables in a way that's easier to reason about, it'll help you out. So those are 3 card flips in Phaser 3. If you like this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe for more Phaser 3 game development videos.